That's what you do when there is a hurricane.
And you see those winds also passing by Thomasville too, and you got 45 in Moultrie. So can we bring up the cone again? Is it still meant for the same direction?
That's right. This is the current cone, forecast cone. We've got a new center update, 12 a.m. We might be making a little history here, Cameron.
Really?
Category 4 hurricane just to the south of Valdosta. And I'm not sure, the longevity of the category of some of our past storms, but we're looking at a mid-grade Category 4 hurricane coming into South Georgia. I've never heard of that in my lifetime.
And you thought it was going to be a 3 when it came here, but it's still a 4 right now.
It's still a 4 and a mid-grade 4. And that may mean that the category may still be a 3 as far north now as Cordele.
Right.
Previously, I thought, okay, it might weaken to a 3 as it came in, and it might be a Category 2 up toward the Cordele and Macon areas. But now, if it's coming into Georgia as a Category 4, then it's going to go out as a 3.
Right. And that's going to be sustained problems for all the furthering counties. And I mean, this could almost, if you look at that cone, it could almost get up to Atlanta. So that's almost all of Georgia that's under threat right there if you look at it.
That's right. Moving the map a little bit, you can see where the eye or where the hurricane is, and we'll get a little zoomed in look a little bit more here for some more South Georgia cities, and let you see where the center of the hurricane is going to go. And there you go. You've got the Category 4 coming right up into our viewing area right now. And again, there's that extreme wind warning in effect for the Lowndes County area until 2 a.m. And everyone there should be sheltering in place. Trying to see if I see anything new coming in from
Lowndes?
The National Weather Service chat. Wind gusts in southern Georgia pushing upper 50s. We saw a wind gust of 60 already in Valdosta.
Mm-hmm.
FSU, Florida State University, is gusting to 61 miles per hour there in Tallahassee.
And a quick update from the Lowndes EMA. Currently there's 23,000 customers without power in Lowndes County now.
Oh my! So that number is going to just continue to increase as we go forward, and so there it is. Category 4 hurricane coming into southern Georgia. Near Quitman, southeast of Thomasville, southwest of Valdosta, and I don't know where the exact eye might go. Again, we were expecting it. The very first forecast, it was near Albany or just west of Albany. Then it was right on Albany, and then it was just east of Albany. And then I said, okay, it might go up and down the 319 corridor. That eye. Well, now I'm kind of in the ballpark now that it still might wobble more northwest, but the eye or the calm part of it, as our models have been indicating, the trend has been that it's been shifting a little east, and that would put it, instead of along Highway 19, it would be closer to Highway 319, but now it kind of looks like closer to I-75 itself, Interstate 75 corridor as far as the eye of the hurricane. And then for Valdosta, there along Highway 41 too. And then there's other roads through there, Highway 84. And again, off to the east, even though you're not in that cone, Douglas, you're going to get the wrath of this as well, Coffee County, and also other counties to the south, Clinch and Eccles, Ware County. A lot of swampland down there in the Okefenokee Swamp, and a lot of trees too. They did replant trees after the wildfires years ago, but this might be very serious over in those areas too.
And just to continue with the outages, Turner County, one of our neighboring counties, it's over 130 people without power in Turner County as of right now. The storm hasn't even hit necessarily yet over here. Ben Hill County is up into the 30s right now. Irwin, close to 70 right now. So there's still a lot of people losing power just off of the wind and rain itself. And the storm, we haven't even gotten a little bit of the storm yet. So it continues to be a problem with wind and rain right now.
That's right. Going to go back to the radar here. Still got Tallahassee's radar. Thank goodness we still got communications with the Tallahassee radar. It is never good to go without radar. Let's see if I can go back to the DMA view, and then we'll zoom back in a little bit. Looks like a confirmed tornado going on somewhere. Let me check that. Or that's a flash flood warning up in Taylor County, Georgia. We still got flash flood warnings here in southern Georgia too, and those will be extended pretty quickly, I believe, as it comes on in. And you can actually see, Cameron, the radar's not moving, but you can see the spiraling nature of the hurricane. It's like the hurricane symbol. You can see how there is a, the portion of the rain band near Valdosta, south and east, and then there's another one here to the west near Thomasville. But let's get right back down into those areas, and I am noticing it starting to continue here, and it's fixing to go downhill rapidly in Valdosta. Go ahead and zoom in on that.
And you can see they're right in the front of that eye wall, if not already in it.
That's right. We'll go ahead and see this. I'm going to try to put on the velocities so we can see what the estimated winds are doing. And again, treat this like a tornado, folks. Let's see what the estimated winds are. Again, these are going to be off the docket a little bit, but over southern portions of Brooks County, 93. That's a little bit off the surface, but that's severe wind. And then, of course, it changes direction when you come over here to Tallahassee, because that's where your eye is, right in here.
What is that 93 miles per hour right there?
That's estimated winds based on the Doppler radar alone. But again, that's off the docket, and we can do a little lesson on radar. Doppler radar is that thing that sometimes you may go by an airport and see a Doppler dome, but inside that dome there is a this looks like a little satellite, but it's on a pedestal, and it spins around, and it looks for meteorological targets as well as raindrops and those types of things, and it does go up in elevation. The beam width does change as it goes up in elevation, and the further the distance is from the radar, the further up in the atmosphere it's actually looking, and so that's what happens with radar, and that's sometimes not good, because we've got some areas where there are not radar sources, and so therefore you don't have a good view of everything. But that's the last radar site right there at 10:28 p.m. because they lost communications with the radar in Valdosta. So here's the real picture of what's happening now, and I want to point out that all of this rough weather down here near Jennings, over towards Jasper, Florida, Live Oak, Florida, all of this has got to wrap around and has got to come north and west.
Right.
Over toward Hayhira and Moultrie, and say, oh, it's not bad in Moultrie yet, or Adel, or Nashville, but it's coming.
So is that going to hit Albany as well?
Part of it might. We just have to see what it is, but what's going to happen is, this is your center near Madison, Florida, and all of the very heavy rain and destructive winds is occurring in these red areas between Dasher, Lake Park, Jennings, down toward Live Oak, Florida, and that's wrapping around north and west as this comes on north and east. And I can put it into motion for us and let us see what we've got going on here. And again, that's the motion of the radar as that eye is starting to come in, and it's slightly east of initial tracks and initial modeling, or the latest modeling. It's a little bit to the east, but that doesn't mean for 1 second that Thomasville, Moultrie, Tifton's going to be not directly impacted by hurricane conditions, because you see how the winds are rotating around that eye wall. We call that the eye wall for a reason, and all of that still got to rotate around to the north and west.
Yeah, Matthew, and it just, the path, it seems like you said it's going to go straight. Is it going to go straight through Tifton? from what you're looking? Or
Well, of course, I showed a model earlier that the eye might go over Tifton. I don't think so now. I think the winds will lighten up in Tifton as we progress, as the eye comes in. But I don't think the eye is going to go directly over Tifton, the dead middle center eye. It may be more south of Tifton. It may be over there toward Adel and Nashville, somewhere in there. But you see all this clear area there near Madison and Greenville, Florida, Madison County, Florida. Most of that is going to be filling in on the backside as it wraps around that eye.
And how long will this storm stay in certain counties? Like I'm assuming it's in Valdosta right now. How long should they expect to feel those the impact of that?
Well, the extreme winds, the extreme wind warning is in effect until 2 a.m. At last estimate, and those areas are under that extreme wind warning. We told you that it would be in the Valdosta area around midnight, and that is what looks like is happening. We can also go back to our wind gusts. Let's go back to our wind gusts and see what the currents are. Not much change, but we're starting to get wind gusts of 31 in Tifton, 31 in Fitzgerald, 45 in Moultrie, and we may have lost communications in Thomasville with the wind gust.
Right. And have we lost communication with Valdosta in some aspects too? I remember you saying that earlier. Or are we fine with Valdosta right now?
Probably not yet. And these may not have updated yet. And there's going to be, the power might come on, it might go off, all those types of things. And so we may not get a constant feed of the wind gust measurements into our weather system. So they may be intermittent, and quite frankly, some of the ASOS sites might go down, the METAR sites. That's the National Weather, that's a fancy talk for the observation weather equipment, may fail in the hurricane. And that's maybe what's happened in Camilla, but that may not be directly for the hurricane. That may be for some other reason. But you can see now the winds are sustained in Valdosta at 40 miles per hour. And then off to the south, the wind gust over in Florida in that purple, looking at wind gusts probably well near 100 miles per hour down there. And I'll try to point that out to you on the map if you can look at my cursor down here. And so that's yet to come into Georgia.
Right. And Matthew, if you could put it into a picture for the audience to see, what is it like a 40 mile per hour wind sustained completely?
So a 40 mile per hour sustained wind, that starts to topple the trees, tree limbs. It takes a stronger wind to knock over a tree at that point, but the wind gust, when you get to 62, that's what we call damaging, and that's when, normally on a summer day or a spring day, we issue a severe thunderstorm warning, and we get a lot of those, and it's for, a lot of areas don't get those gusts, but some areas have been impacted by that for real. It just got some new updates there. Look at all these wind barbs that are showing up on my weather system.
And what does that mean?
That just means that the weather system is picking up on the very intense eye coming in, the eye wall directly coming in. So you can see here, there's Quitman, Georgia, right there, and we mentioned Boston and Thomasville, Coolidge, Pavo and Barney, all of these areas, Empress, over there toward Clyattville, Lake Park, Hayhira, Rimerton, Cecil, Cook County. It's about time to hunker down for you. Well, you should be already hunkered down, but it's about time to seek shelter in Cook County because you probably got 60 mile per hour winds coming up.
And the Tift County Emergency Management Agency just said wind gusts with more than 40 miles per hour hitting Tift County right now with heavy rain, and they say power outages are now being reported throughout the community with numerous trees being down as well, Matthew. So it's not even there yet, but you can still see the impact of this hurricane still hitting Tift County right now.
That's very unfortunate. Again, it's just going to get worse before it gets better, folks. And I just don't say that lightly. This is going to be very bad as it comes on through. And you just need to seek shelter, especially if you hear that wind outside, that howling wind. That's the time that you need to get into that center portion of your sturdy structure. And we talked about not being in a mobile home, but really and truly, it's too late now to, go try to find some other shelter. But maybe you may have some other kind of sturdier structure besides the mobile home on your property, maybe, I don't know, that you could seek. But again, we did see two fatalities or deaths related to a possible tornado in the Wheeler County area. That's up here northeast of Telfair County earlier this afternoon over toward Alamo. Wind gusts now in Albany, 33 miles per hour. That's impressive. And you talked about the differences in the wind speeds, what kind of damage it might cause. Mm-hmm. Well, 33 miles per hour, you get sporadic power outages possibly, those types of things. 43 miles per hour in Moultrie, and of course this right here will be a slam dunk. You will have power outages. And I do want to go back to the camera real quick. Guys. Before there's any occurrence or instance that we lose power, we may go down, okay? We may go down, but our amazing team here at CBS 44, we have a contingency plan to try to get us up and going again as soon as possible. We don't have an ETA on that, but we do know that we will be able to broadcast in some form, let you know of the very latest as we receive information, and it may be by voice, and that's all you can get. But we're going to try our best to get you that life-saving information as the hurricane comes in, and you probably might lose the stream at that point. But if we lose the stream at that point, that's the time that you need to be in that center portion of your home. Cameron, you got some new information?
It's just as far as power outages, Matthew. Like I said, neighboring counties, Turner County, over 130 power outages now.
We can go to that power outage map now.
Tift County, we have over 140 now in Tift County. In Worth, we see it's nearing 100. So there's, like I said, it's county by county, taking them out one by one.
Go ahead and take the map, and we can show you those power outages. Look at there. Lowndes County is now in the yellow. Mm-hmm. Tallahassee is in the orange. That means that about 50,000 people are without power around the Tallahassee-Leon County area. And then in Tifton, it looks like, as you mentioned, what was it?
It was 130.
130 people at the time.
Right.
Well, that's going to go up, obviously.
And we just reported with Lowndes, it's over 23,000 people without power.
So here it is. That's all I can say. It's going to be very serious. It's going to get loud very quickly. You're going to hear the sheets of rain outside, the howling wind. And at that point in time, you don't need to sleep in your bed through it, especially if you live near a tree or your bedroom is near a tree. You need to move quickly and get to the center portion of your home in that closet, the bathroom without windows, and get there immediately and get there quickly.
And Matthew, do you want to see some of the visuals that we have in certain counties just to see what it looks like?
Okay, we can go around, and if we still got power to some of these, we'll be able to see.
Okay.
But we'll start in Moultrie. Actually, we'll start in Albany. There's Spencefield.
You see that tree right there? I mean, that tree, that post right there.
Yeah, that's the flag at Spencefield in Moultrie. Mm-hmm. Okay.
You see the poles moving as well.
Oh yeah. It's usually not much there, but there's buildings there, obviously, for the Sunbelt Ag Expo,
right?
Which will be occurring here within a couple of weeks.
Do you think this will affect that though, as far as farming?
It most likely will,
mm-hmm.
And it probably won't be hardly anybody especially from South Georgia, to go to the thing,
right?
But
you see the movement of those poles though.
I don't know.
Is that not bothersome?
That's right. I don't know what might occur down there at Spencefield, but hopefully it might occur and everybody can come together and recover from the hurricane. And as I have been mentioning, my thoughts and my prayers have been with the South Georgia farmers. I've got agricultural interest in my family, farmers, for generations, and I understand the threat from this hurricane, knowing that you had your harvest ready, almost ready in some cases, and some of it may not have been able to be gotten out of the field. the cotton crop, the pecan crops, the pecan trees were loaded down with pecans. And then, of course, the cotton almost ready to pop, ready to be picked. Some of it was ready, some of it was not ready. And then the peanuts, you worked feverishly to get that harvest in, the peanuts. But it's really going to have a severe economic loss to farmers.
And I have a quick
Really
update
is.
in Lowndes. There are now over 48,000 people without power in Lowndes County.
That number's going up. Let's try to go to Valdosta. I've got the EOC camera here.
We still have power there.
That's right. It may be powered by their generator. Hopefully they're up and running.
And you can really see that flag and those posts moving back and forth pretty.
All right, so here's the scene in Valdosta. Oh, look at the sheets of rain going across. Oh, my gosh. Look at there.
Oh, yeah. So what is that wind and rain moving in that bottom portion, Matthew? Can you see that?
Oh, yeah, that's rain just blowing across the screen there.
But it's so high, though, as well. It looks like it's the size of the tree.
That's
if
right.
I'm not wrong.
Oh, that's a tree right there in the middle.
That's moving right there, yeah.
This is the tree. And then these are the sheets of rain coming across. Sustained wind of 40 miles per hour. That's nonstop. And then the wind gusts may be higher than that, over 60 miles per hour.
And it's 80 degrees.
That's right. It's going to go up. This wind speed's going to go up. So, Lowndes County EMA is advising people to stay sheltered in place right now. You are under an extreme wind warning as well. Starting to see outages down to our south in Chris County.
And they're seeing wind gusts of 88 miles per hour there.
Valdosta?
Yeah, Lowndes EMA has just said that.
All right. So, lightning. That's your eye wall, folks. You can't see anything. All you can do is hear the wind.
Right. And Lowndes EMA is also stressing that all residents need to continue to shelter in place, too. That you shouldn't be going anywhere. And as you can see, Matthew, like I said, that the wind and water is almost the size of the tree when you look at the mass of it, the way it's pushing that tree right there.
Yep.
And that's lightning
That's
right
lightning.
there as well.
That's right. The eye wall has made it to Valdosta. Those trees will probably get toppled over. Oh, the camera moved.
Did it?
Just to it bounced up a little bit. I'm not sure where this Lowndes County EOC is at, but I know there's a lot of people in that building.
Right.
GEMA and possibly even FEMA, if I had to guess. There. But we'll come back to that. I do want to show that wind gust and these power outages that keep occurring, and then we're going to talk about who next needs to be ready to shelter in place. Again, Valdosta, you are now going up in the power outages. Ashburn, now Turner County, Atchison County, Coffee County. There's your power outages right now. They're going to continue to increase. There's your wind speed sustained right there. And they're saying an 80 mile per hour wind.
88.
88 is a measured wind gust in Valdosta. So this is not reflected on our map. So the map may not get updated. It just depends on how fast that information is going into my weather system
Right.
right now. But what we can do is go back to the radar. And there she is. There's the eye wall. And
We hear a good bit of rain outside of our studio as well,
all right.
Matthew.
The far outer rain band is actually now north of Sylvester, stretching southwest toward Camilla. So Albany, it may have not got downhill yet, gone downhill yet for you, but it's about to. But the worst again is still going to be east of Albany, but you still are going to get pretty severe impacts, and then potentially damaging, significant, catastrophic in some areas down there in Valdosta, over toward Eccles County and Lanier County and Berrien County and Cook County and Brooks County. This is the area right in here, folks, that all the way stretching back to Colquitt County and Thomas County, that I imagine it's going to take some time to recover.
And the city of Moultrie just posted there are multiple trees down in Moultrie as well. Matthew, there's something you can look at as well as far as what the wind gust actually looks like right here. And they also said there's over 1,000 customers without power as of 12/20.
Right, shelter in place. Shelter in place. It's that time. It's that time to move and move quickly. It's that time to move to a shelter in a small interior room, a hall closet or bathroom without windows, and protect yourself from flying debris. I have a grave concern in the Lowndes County area. A lot of trees there, just like Tallahassee. That there's going to be trees on homes. There's going to be trees across the road. There's going to be just a very serious situation there unfolding down in those areas at this time.
Right.
Anything new coming from Cook County?
We're searching that now.
A little bit of the wind blowing through the outskirts of our station,
Right,
or
it's getting
into
into our
the
door, yeah.
lobby of our station. The wind is really starting to pick up now, and again, this is only tropical force, so
we haven't got to the.
we hadn't got to the hurricane yet.
No updates from Cook yet, though. No updates.
Okay, no updates from Cook. Try Berrien County, city of Nashville, if you could get anything there, and then go to Lanier County after that. But starting to see those outer rain bands starting to move in. Guys, while Cameron's doing that, go ahead and take me on the side monitor if we can. If not, then we're not going to be able to do that. Okay, we are able. So here we are. There is the eye wall right here. The worst of it is starting to rotate north and west, moving into the city of Valdosta. As Cameron mentioned, a wind gust of 88 miles per hour. That's a little bit lower than what estimation was, but it's not out of the realm of possibility that a wind gust gets to 100 miles per hour. And so we've got Lake Park over towards Valdosta, and then all the way east towards Statenville, and then western portions of Eccles County up into Lanier County. These areas right here where you see the darkest red, that's where there's really going to be extensive damage from the hurricane as it continues to move in, and we'll see what happens as it continues to move off to the north. But we know that the power outages continue to increase, and we know that the damage is going to be extensive from the Georgia line all the way up Highway 129, as I mentioned, as far east as Highway 441, U.S. Highway 41, I-75, Highway 319. Around the Highway 19 area, it may be a little bit more sporadic as far as the power outages, but eventually your power will go out. And it's right now time that you make sure that you've got those batteries and those items and move quickly to that center portion of your home. That's a small room, a hall closet, or bathroom without windows as that continues to come in. Got a couple of weather incidents from the Albany Police Department. Flooded roads now at the 3700 block of Radial Avenue. Also power outages on Oak Ridge Drive, Westover Boulevard, 200 block of Glade Lane, 600 block of Aztec Lane, 300 block of Carriage Lane, Gilliamville Road, Lockett Station Road. The Albany Utilities Clear Circuit, they're trying to go out in it. Or out in the area. There's trees down blocking the road at the 1700 block of Eagerly Avenue, and then traffic lights out at Moultrie Road, Liberty Expressway Southeast. But it's unfortunate, but you should not be outside anyway as this eye wall starts to come in. Again, wind gusts so far, the highest we've seen is 88 miles per hour, but it could start to increase as that comes in. And again, that's Lowndes County, Lanier County, Berrien County, Cook County, and western Eccles County and Brooks County. Definitely, right now, needs to be in that center portion of your home away from windows. Cannot stress that enough right now. You say, oh, I'm just going to sleep through the hurricane. That is not what you need to do in these particular areas. You need to move quickly to protect yourself from flying debris as the winds start to come and we start to see the as we start to see the missiles of these damage and tree limbs and all those other items starting to go through possible homes, unfortunately.
And we didn't have any updates from Berrien County as far as what they have going on as far as measures. We did get an update from Tift County, though, with wind gusts of more than 40 miles per hour hitting Tift County with heavy rain, and they've seen a lot of power outages, and there's numerous trees down in Tift County as of right now.
A lot of these emergency management agencies have their own weather equipment, so they can tell us what is the wind gust doing at their location. And so that's information that we can, I'm sure they've relayed to the Weather Service, and they can get that information out as soon as possible as well. Zooming in a little bit more on the actual eye of the hurricane, the eye wall. Go ahead and take the map full, guys, and you can see there it is, and where all of this is. I'm going to try to stop the map because it is a little bit too fast for movement, but you can see where it's at. And also going to put those winds on there. And again, this is up a little bit in elevation. This is up a little bit in off the docket, but you can see near Quitman, 94 miles per hour estimated winds off the surface, probably about a couple thousand feet, but near the ground, that wind gust is probably about 60 or 70 or 80, as we were predicting, and as we have been observing. 88 miles per hour wind gusts as well. And down here at Lake Park, start to notice the colors right here of red. That indicates that the wind has changed direction. The eye is past you, and the wind has changed direction. And even though in Lowndes County you see a little bit of the clear right down here at Dasher and Lake Park, that does not mean that the worst is over for you. That means it continues. And there's Eccles County. Your wind warning goes until 1:45. And then up to the north as well. All right, we got new extreme wind. No, we don't. We got flash flood warnings continuing to the north. It's going to be a tough call here, but they may have to extend these extreme wind warnings a little county or two north as we get further out in time. And we want to do a time of when you need to be sheltered in place for my folks in Tifton.
And you said the wind is changing direction. What type of impact can that have?
Well, that just means that the backside of the hurricane's coming to your location. Mm-hmm. So here, you've already getting the tropical force in Tifton, but here is where that eye wall will be near you, about 25 miles per hour. Let's see. So here's some estimations of when you can expect that in your area. So Sparks in the next few minutes, Lakeland, quarter to 1 o'clock a.m. Also Nashville, closer to 1 a.m. Ellington, Lenox, as well as Moultrie. Moultrie a little bit after 1 a.m. That's when you need to be in the center portion of your home, away from windows. Again, I'm talking about this. It doesn't mean that you go outside and venture outside to try to find a shelter. What I mean by this is that you need to be in the center portion of your home, in that sturdy structure, and you need to move. Even though you say, I'm just going to sleep through it, you can't, especially if you have your bedroom is near a bunch of trees just outside in your yard. You can't do that. You need to move quickly and get to a hall closet, a bathroom without windows to survive some of these winds. Again, you probably would survive, but you don't want to take that chance if you got trees right outside your door of your bedroom.
And a quick update from Lowndes EMA. Again, multiple trees are down in Lowndes County, and they are expecting a lot of out-of-town contractors to come and help with some of the wind and damage when this stops. And FEMA has not declared this a federal disaster yet. And some things that they wanted to let everyone know is they wanted to let you know, don't let anyone scare you into an impulse repair of your home right now, trying to fix something that's already broken. Right. Like you said, Matthew, just stay in that bathroom, that four walls, so you're protected. Trying to photograph and damage and call your insurance agent right now. that's not the best option for you as well. And only work with licensed contractors if you're going to get it fixed going forward. You know what I'm saying? Just things like that, just to help you with a little bit of the aftermath and a little bit about what's going on right now.
Right. There'll be a time to assess the damage and take pictures and all that type of stuff. Now's not the time. This is the time that you need to be in the center portion of your home, away from windows as this northern eye wall comes in. Highest wind gust we have measured is 88 miles per hour that we have heard or seen currently, and those are where the estimated timings of when that wind can be in your area. 72 at Kinderloo, weather stem sensor in Valdosta, 88 miles per hour wind gust at the weather stem in Lowndes County, getting a new flash flood warning. New flash flood warning for Ben Hill, Daugherty, Irwin, Tift, Turner, and Worth counties. That's going to go through 5:30 a.m. this morning. Power outages throughout the entire area with numerous trees down throughout the Tift County area. Tift County's been spared throughout some of these storms, but I don't think so this time.
And Cook County has a couple of things they wanted to put out to their consumers as well. And it was, remember to shut off your main breaker prior to starting your generator. I know a lot of people are without power right now, and your generator is their saving grace. But make sure you're using it correctly, using it as the label goes. They say this because this will prevent feedback electricity going into your house, and it'll help you restore that power as soon as you can.
That's right. You want to do the right things with the generators. Do not power them inside because of carbon monoxide poisoning. The risk is real with that, and there are a lot of deaths that occur from a hurricane indirectly because of not using common sense when it comes to that type of thing. And then on top of all that, unless you've got somebody in your family that it's critical that you need electricity. Is it risking your life to go outside and fill up the generator, plug up the generator, or whatever? Is it worth risking your life to go outside and do that? I don't think it is.
And there's a couple people in Colquitt County now without power. It hasn't reached a high number like the other counties that we've covered, but again, I expect it to continue to reach. Tift County is still in the 140s as far as people that are without power right now. Coffee County has reached 320 people without power as of right now. Atchison has over 1,000 people without power as of right now. And it's a trend that keeps going. Cook County, 15 people without power. I expect that one to go up as well. Irwin, nearly 70, and Turner still at 137 right now. So a lot of people without power as those wind gusts continue to push, Matthew.
That's right. My map is not updated on the gust, but let's see that the power outages do go up. So there we go. Starting to see the power outages light up. Let's go ahead and take me here on the side monitor, and I can point some of them out to you. Currently, right now, our power outages, we are looking at areas around Valdosta. As you were saying, thousands of people are without power. Also over towards the Thomas County area, over towards Grady and Decatur counties, and also up into Tift County now, Berrien County, Cook County, Mitchell County, and over towards Atchison County. And even as far north as Atlanta Metro, and the worst of it has not even got to the Atlanta Metro yet.
Right, and you see Tallahassee's completely red right now. So what does that mean, Matthew?
So that now we're in the range of 100,000 people without power. It's probably going to go to purple. I don't know the actual population of Tallahassee. Mm-hmm. That's a good thing you could research for us real quick to see the population of Tallahassee. Of course, Leon County is a big county there, and but we can see
it's 201,000 people in Tallahassee.
Okay, and of course we may have more customers, give or take.
Right.
But I know some of these might go purple, especially when we get up toward Atlanta later on, because there's more people. Metropolitan areas have more people, more customers with it.
And another thing, is there any slowdown in the intensity of the storm as it's in Lowndes right now?
There's a slight little tick down in the intensity. It appears, because we're not getting any kind of measurements of 100 yet.
Right.
So looking around 88 miles per hour, that's still going to cause significant catastrophic damage wherever that hits.
That's the last was in
But-
Valdosta, yeah.
But of course, it's not to the extreme like we were hoping not. So hopefully it's starting that weakening trend, which it is because it is inland.
And we have some nighttime severe weather safety tips for you guys just to keep in mind. That's just unmuting your phone. If you get anything from any weather services, any updates on the storm, if it's close to where you are, you want to be able to get that on your phone. So take it off of Do Not Disturb, and make sure if you still have power right now, because we see, Matthew, a lot of people have been losing power left and right, make sure your phone is as charged as possible. We're trying to keep our things charged here as well. And make sure you have a safety kit that you know where it is, and make sure you know where all of your priority things are, just in case something catastrophic may happen to the house you're living in.
That's right. Kind of zooming in on this eye wall, and you can see it on the radar behind the purple boxes. It's coming up into Lowndes County, south and west towards Quitman County, and near Adale. And then over towards Nashville, you see the northern edge of it right there. Yeah. It wraps around like a ring, and it's going to go from nothing or very little to that right there near Adale. It's going to escalate very quickly. That's the reason for these extreme wind warnings until 2 a.m. That means that you need to remain into a hall closet or bathroom until that time. And then, even then, you need to remain indoors, of course, as damaging winds can still occur, but the extreme winds will be until that time at 2 a.m. And you will get the alert of this WIA, of this extreme wind warning. This is a kind of a newer warning that was issued by the National Weather Service for tropical systems or hurricanes, and it means that is the most dire, most extreme warning that they can issue when it comes to a hurricane, and it's very rare, actually.
Right, we want to emphasize just using your generator properly. Cook County's fire department came out with a post saying there's been total number of 808 deaths just due to improper use of that generator there. So we want to make sure we're using it right, using it in the right portion of our house, whether that's gas or electric, just kind of having that all together, and basically having some carbon monoxide tips as well so you don't get carbon monoxide poisoning, because there's so many outside factors as far as the wind blowing, debris flying into walls and things of that nature.
So that was about 2 hours ago, we were looking at a mid-grade Category 4. I don't know the intensity now, but it's still coming into South Georgia as a Cat 4, and it's probably now in the ballpark of a Cat 3 still. But we're going to wait for the Weather Service to make that determination. So last check, midnight, 140 miles per hour winds. All right, some possible, I'll just say some possible property damage in Adale right now.
Right.
Let's see, we got something new coming in. Okay, we're getting a new, looking to see here what this is. Environment remains conditionally favorable for supercells producing tornadoes, primarily over southeast Georgia into South Carolina. That's mainly going to be based on that flow coming off the ocean, the Atlantic, and those cells that are coming in. And so they're going to continue to keep the tornado watches in effect as well. A little spin-up tornado might happen, but right now the main damage is going to be from this big tornado, if you want to call it that, which it is. It is a like a EF2 tornado or a little less than that over a widespread area coming through the middle or just to the east of the middle of South Georgia.
So you're possibly saying that someone could maybe get hit with a tornado and a hurricane in the same night tonight.
That's right. It's basically what I'm saying is it's basically the same type of thing that we're looking at as well. Not getting anything from in our email box, or mine at least.
Mm-hmm.
Checking around.
A quick update as far as I know, it's late to get in a shelter. It's extremely late, but Thomas County did issue something as far as a 12 o'clock midnight update that they still have shelters available at Cross Creek Elementary and Cone Road from Lower Boston, Joyner Road, and just places if you feel like your place isn't safe enough.
That's right. And the only people that I would say that would be, on up toward the middle Georgia area. Those areas, you got a little time to possibly get in a sturdier structure. But by then, I do think it'll be, a low-end hurricane. But right now, it is still a major hurricane coming right through South Georgia. And we're going to go back to our view of Valdosta. See what we got in Valdosta. Let's see if we can still get this weather stem camera at 88 miles per hour. I believe it has went offline now.
Yeah,
so
probably because of those winds.
So I don't think it's working. Let's go up to Tifton. I've got one at the UGA Tifton campus.
Is that?
It's steel frame, so there's no power possibly there.
Mm-hmm.
We can go to our Albany office camera, and then we'll try the Sunbelt Ag Expo camera again. A couple more cameras I've got available to show you. These are weather stem cameras, some of them. But this one here is our camera near our offices at North Slappy. Good news is I don't see much movement right now on the roads, and roads are starting to pile up with the water, and we do see the rain coming down right now. Actually, one car tried to come out, but there's Camilla, knocked out the sensor there. Let's try.
And a couple of viewers have been commenting
Cordele.
down.
Okay.
Said the wind's getting really strong off of Highway 90 in Araby in Chris County. So what does the wind look like right now in Cordele?
So Cordele, actually there's Leesburg, got a camera there,
Mm-hmm.
but we've got our tower cam, our transmitter camera there in Cordele. It's active because I can see a little motion down there,
Mm-hmm.
but I can't really tell. Of course, it's dark, it's night, but based on what I'm seeing right there, those people still have power.
Right.
So still right now.
And Tifton, someone said their lights are flickering. It's heavy rain, heavy wind gusts as of right now for them.
All right, we'll go back to the winds and let's see what kind of winds if they update. They still have not updated, but you can see where the eye is now. It's putting it right over Brooks County, just to the west of Valdosta. That's where the eye is currently at.
Is the cone still in the same place with this? Has it not shifted a little bit any?
The cone, of course, did shift a slight nudge to the east to count for the current forward motion of the hurricane. But there you go. There's your wind gust map. Just don't know why that's not updating, but we know we got a wind gust measured in Valdosta of 88 miles per hour. But you can see the purple that was down just south of the Florida line, and down there in Madison County and Hamilton County and Suwannee County, the Suwannee River Valley. Down in there, you go down to Itchitutney sometimes, and those areas, really highly forested type areas, they're going to be very much impacted.
And we also had a resident from Adel, Georgia, saying there's a tree through their garage as of right now. What should they do to continue to be safe?
Don't even worry about that tree right now. They need to remain sheltered in place where they are at until the storm completely leaves the area. So here is the current estimation of when the winds will be in your area. Valdosta, notice here on the map, you see that clear right there?
Mm-hmm.
That's where the eye is. I think it's in between Quitman and Valdosta, right there along Highway 221, or US Highway 84.
Right.
And we talked about how the center of the storm might go just west of this, and that's what my model was showing, near Highway 319.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now it looks like it's going closer to the I-75 corridor, but it's still lifting mainly north
Right.
right now. And you can see here's some other areas that will be impacted by this wind and all of that. I can put some smaller towns on there, but we're going to get populated if we do that. But if you know, Norman Park, 1:17 a.m. This morning, Lennox, it's about on you now, and it's time to be sheltered in place in a sturdier shelter. And also over toward Alapahaw, Willacoochee. Next up will be Osceola.
And the Lowndes County EMA just informed that there are now 60,000 people without power in Lowndes County as of right now. As you expected those numbers to go up, but they just keep updating us on that as well.
That number keeps going up. Let's check two other counties. Let's check Thomasville, if there's any kind of update on the Rose City, and then over toward Lakeland.
Before we get there, Cook County just came out and said, due to safety reasons, all emergency response is suspended at this time. If you have a true emergency, you need to call emergency personnel, call 911, emergencies only at this time, and they ripped that as well.
That's it. Life or death emergencies are only for 911 at this time. Don't call them about a tree on your house.
Right.
They're not going to come out, assess damage or anything of that nature until after this hurricane moves on through.
And they also said to stay off the roads just because of the force winds that are there as well, as we just talked about with how strong those winds are pushing.
That's right.
And where do you want me to search on?
Go ahead and go to city of Thomasville or Thomas County, and also over toward Lanier County. We haven't checked on Lanier County down there at Lakeland. And then you could possibly check on Berrien. But we're starting to get some power outages in Crisp County. That's mainly from some sporadic gusts of tropical force, but we will get near hurricane force, possibly. But the good news is I'm starting to see a tempering down of some of these wind gusts, or they're not up to expectations. And I think that's got a lot to do with the forward motion. And that's the good thing. This thing is coming on pretty quickly. As well.
Does it still have the same rate of speed?
Or moving on through.
Does it still have the same rate of speed as of right now?
All right, so the National Weather Service is indicating that this is information before they release the official information, that the category might be just below the major status. It probably is at a 2. But again, these are things that are academical. You know, there's not much difference in these wind speeds.
Right.
And that's the reason we have the Sanford-Simpson wind scale to determine wind speeds and that type of thing.
And we don't have any updates from Berrien as of right now either.
All right. Somebody called me this morning from there, and they may give me a text or something.
Mm-hmm.
I am getting the Lanier County EMA had just typing something up. So this is now a tree has fallen on a house on Highway 135 in the Naylor community. I believe that's going to be actually technically in Lowndes County, but this is being relayed by the EMA of Lanier County. There's a tree on a house on South Highway of 135 in Naylor. Very concerned about our counties as we go into Berrien and Cook and Tift and Colquitt. And folks, just because you hear that, it may be dropping a category, doesn't mean that it's not life-threatening. You need to remain sheltered in place as the eye wall starts to come in. Again, this is an old thing that I have mapped here. So it's moving in a little bit quicker here now. So I'm going to do a different track of this, and then we'll try to go back and see what those winds are doing. But if that map's not going to update, we'll just stick to our radar. But here we go. We'll make a movement off to the northwest at about 25 miles per hour, 20, 30. We'll say 30. And then we'll move the map where you can see where that eye is going to be in these particular neighborhoods. And again, these are rough estimates based on the movement, around 25 to 30 miles per hour. It will be interesting to see here with the next update what the forward speed of the actual storm is.
And in Tiff now, there are 374 people without power now, so it has gotten to Tiff County as well as we continue to see the stream.
Moody Air Force Base recently gusted to 69 miles per hour. That's below hurricane force, but very close.
Irwin County is reaching almost to 1,000 people without power.
Okay, we've got some video from somebody, but I don't think it's called up yet. Just let me know if it's available to show or if not. But just let me know when that is available. But there you go. There's some of the towns where you need to be sheltered in place. I don't think we're going to get any more of those extreme wind warnings, but we'll see in the near distant future. Something new?
Not from any of our neighboring counties. Nothing new as of right now. As far as an update on power outage, as far as Coffee County goes, we're nearing 3,500 people without internet in Coffee County. In Irwin, like I said, 889. And Doherty has come to 34 people. So it's, like I said, gradually coming up. Mitchell County, 165.
So there is our map of power outages again. So there we go. Crisp is not lit up yet, but I know there's a couple already going from Crisp County Power. Lowndes County is the most populated, area.
Right.
And
55,000 people in Lowndes County.
And there's already, that county is the most colored out of our legend of the county power outages.
60,000 already.
60,000 people.
So almost all of Lowndes County doesn't have power right now.
Not sure in comparison to what that is to Adelia, but I know it's going to be worse than Adelia.
Right.
For Lowndes County, unfortunately. But I think they were well prepared.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the citizens, didn't want this, but I think they were well prepared for what could be unfortunate down in Lowndes County.
And someone reported their power is out in Brookfield as well.
Yep. It's going to happen, folks. You say, oh, I got power right now, nothing's going on. Well, it's about to go downhill in a hurry as Helene continues to march her way through South Georgia right now as it is moving through. And the main thing is you need to shelter in place despite the fact that it may have weakened below major intensity. But let's look for the final update here. Let's see what we got now. The eye wall of extremely dangerous Hurricane Helene now moving into Georgia and accelerating north-northeast. So that means that the storm has picked up some forward movement, and so we can do a new estimate of where the center is. So there is where it's at. It's now a 2, Cameron.
Mm-hmm. So
Maximum sustained winds of 110 miles per hour. Let's go ahead and move our map around. And you can see, there we go, right there. And
could you still, because I know maybe people are saying, oh, it's going down, could you still talk about the force a Category 2 could cause to a county?
That's right. You're going to see, this is very good news. I was really gravely concerned earlier that we were going to see some really catastrophic impacts, and we still are.
Right.
No doubt about it. But it's, again, going to be in a very localized area, okay? In other areas, it'll be sporadic. But it's just going right up I-75. It's like Helene is taking a ride right up I-75, and that's what's happening. You see the center there, located very close, if not over near Adel, and then it's going to be next up toward Tifton.
And speaking of Tifton, due to sustained high winds, all Tiff County first responders are now sheltering in place as well. So, again, if it's not a true emergency, they won't be there as of right now.
That's right. They will cease going out now, and only if it's a life or death situation. If it is they'll do it by a case basis. But don't call 911 for a tree on your home. It's just not safe to do that.
And Cook County's following suit. A lot of counties are following that suit right now, just for the protection of their people as well.
392 outages now out by the Chris County Airport. So that number is going up for Chris County. We're going to see Chris County light up on our map here with power outages here momentarily. But there is the center of the eye of the hurricane right near Adel, near Valdosta, and it's 110 miles per hour right now.
And we want to continue to emphasize the importance of moving to the lowest level of an interior room without windows, just trying to make sure everyone is safe in there. Go into a bathroom, if anything, a place with four walls. Close that door, have a helmet, a football helmet, a bike, something safe, so the debris won't hit your head, something between your head and the debris. Again, basement level, something that you can use.
If you could come to us, guys, and continue, Cameron, talk a little bit more about what you should be doing as that eye wall starts to come into your city. And then we'll talk a little bit about the aftermath, and then we've got some video to show. We'll show you that in just a moment.
Right, and again, you want to make sure you're staying away from all windows, all doors, anything that has a nail in it because of those debris. Things are going to be flying off. Don't go get anything outside. This is definitely a time to be in your safe space, whether that's the center of your household, your bathroom. Find a good place, get your pets, your children, everyone who's important to you in that house. Go ahead and find that safe space for you, because Matthew, again, I know it's going down, but this is still a long night. It's not done. It's still a hurricane outside.
That's right, and you're still going to get those tropical force conditions well on out, almost past midday today as well. Let's go ahead and look at that video if we can. Christopher Rapley shot this video.
Wow.
I don't know where he shot this.
Where is this at?
Anybody have an idea? Albany? Okay.
And people have been asking for updates in Albany as well.
That's right. And I'm so sorry that we're not really focusing much on Albany, because we know the direct impact of the most severe and extensive damage is going to be in that localized path of the eye. But we do know that things are going downhill in Albany too. And see if we can pull up our maps again. But yeah, you see the sheets of rain going across there and everything, and not good.
And you see it kind of going in waves like that, Matthew.
That's right.
Is that because of just the wind pushing the rain on the ground?
That's right. The force of the wind coming across as well. So a couple of new things I want to show you. So here we go with our county map of those power outages. It continues to populate. Right now, hundreds of people are without power. Thousands. And then the most, I think, in our DMA right now is Lowndes County, city of Valdosta,
which has over 60,000 people without power.
That's right. Starting to see our lights flicker here at TV station. And what I want to mention to everyone is that if you lose our signal, we go down, we have a contingency plan in place that we will try to get back on the air as soon as possible. It may take us a little while, but we will do our best to get back on the air as soon as possible, maybe with limited equipment, but we will do our best to be the voice in the storm, as the worst of it has not even gotten to Cordele yet, and other areas too. But you can see, let's go ahead and look at another broad picture, again, dealing with tropical conditions in Jacksonville, Florida, well to the east of the eye. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens as the eye continues to lift to the north up into middle Georgia. And we're going to continue to see that. Continue to see tornado warnings over in Savannah. They have been pounded by tornado warning after tornado warning. And there is the current look at the eye wall of the storm.
And we got someone from Valdosta saying they're just hanging in there as of right now. There's trees down, there's no power, and the rain it's flowing sideways. It's rough right there.
That's right. So there you go. Zoomed in look on some cities, small cities.
And what does this purple and blue mix kind of tell us, Matthew?
So that purple was the hurricane warning, and what covered that up is the flash flood warning. But you see now, Tift County, the northern part of that eye wall is right near that Highway 319 corridor, stretches all the way down to Moultrie, as all of this is trying to wrap back to the north and west. And even though it's below a Category 4 an extreme wind warning, it's time now for you to be in your safe place as well. It's time to move as well in those areas. And we're just going to continue to keep you updated. Take it over a little bit, Cameron.
Right, and a lot of people are scared right now, and all that we can really tell you is, follow those safety measures. Know where your first aid kit is, know where all your supplies are, because you're going to need those long term going forward here. And a lot of the things that we talked about are in our emergency preparedness things, and that starts with where to be inside of the house. I know we keep reiterating it, but you don't want to be next to a window or next to a door or things like that as well.
Just don't let camera.
And again, that is moving to the lowest level of your interior, whether that's a bathroom, a lower level of your house. You want 4 walls. Again, 4 walls. Have that helmet there if you can. Something that continually can protect you going forward with this. And that's exactly what you want to do going forward. And again, even in the aftermath of something happening, whether it's loose nails, debris flying, there's a ton of things you have to worry about even after the fact. And this isn't the thing that we rush to get back into after the product is done. Although this has gone down to a Category 2 hurricane, we still have to focus on the aftermath. There could be nails flying from houses. There could be definitely winds pushing. And again, like Matthew said, you may have just experienced the wall, but you have to experience that back wall as well. So you're not completely out of the storm, although you might have gotten the worst of it, and you still have those winds pushing as well. So again, stay in your safe space. You shouldn't be going out at this time at all. And as far as lighting, if you don't have power, we know there's a lot of people without power as of right now. You don't want to have to use a candle or something you light up. You want to use that generator. You want to use it safely. Make sure you don't have carbon monoxide poisoning. And you want to use a flashlight. Have your batteries, know where that's at, and that's how you're going to navigate the night as of right now.
That's right. We'll go to our side monitor with me. Just took a brief breather right there. And tried to look outside here at Cordele. It's coming down in sheets.
And we're going to go to Matthew.
As well. So now as we go to my monitor, I've got the view of what's happening in the Tifton area. So here we go. You got the northern eye wall starting to come into areas around Crossland, Omega, El Dorado, up toward Brighton, Excelsior, Osceola, Alapaha, and this does extend as far east as Willacoochee and Douglas. Not sure what the winds are in these squalls right here, but if your power's not out now, it's imagined that it's going to be out very quickly. As this starts to move in, this is the main event for Tift County, the eye wall as it moves into Turner County, Worth County, stretching down towards Moultrie as well. We know that there's a lot of power outages occurring. Trees are falling, trees are snapping. They may become missiles, meaning that they may go through the windows. And so you just want to remain sheltered in place right now as this comes on through. The good news of the saving grace in all of this is that the storm is now accelerating a little bit. That estimated wind speed is continuing to decrease. And as far as the wind speed, but the motion is a little bit faster as well.
And speaking of the wind speed, Matthew, we had someone from Northwest Turner say they said they're 6 miles away from Araby, and it's sheeting rain, intense burst of wind that's whistling very loud, and she said this is just very unnerving for her to be in right now.
Yeah, so again, I told you to expect the worst out of this hurricane. It says Helene continues to produce catastrophic winds that are pushing into southern Georgia. This is an extremely dangerous and life-threatening situation. Persons should not leave their shelters and remain in place through the passage of these life-threatening conditions. When in the eye, people are reminded to not venture out in the relatively calm, as hazardous winds will increase very quickly when the eye passes. A weather stem site in southern Lowndes County reported that wind gusts of 88 miles per hour. That's the highest we've received. It's been measured, though, the highest we have received, and a minimum central pressure of 952 millibars. That's quite low for inside southern Georgia. So again, I showed you two models earlier. One was the hurricane wind gust, a very smaller scale model that showed it a little bit more northwest with the eye, but then the other model that was like a global model, it showed the actual eye going where it's going. So that was the more trusted guidance for this particular event. And a USGS tide gauge at Steinhatchee, Florida, reported a water level of 9.6 feet above mean high water, which is an approximation of inundation in that area. And there will be areas that, again, unsurvivable, because we know by storms chasers that homes in the Steinhatchee area have been floated out to sea with it as well.
When you say unsurvivable, what type of conditions are those, Matthew?
So unsurvivable when a storm surge is when you just needed that the main message there is, if you have not evacuated and in your house, you're in that house that is swept out to sea, number one, they're not coming to get you, and you just prepare that it's like a death wish if you are in that situation. But for us, thankfully, we're not near the coast. We don't have to deal with storm surge, but we do deal with freshwater flooding from flash flooding, and that's occurring right now in these areas of Tift and Ben Hill, Turner, and Worth counties. You see it right here. The flash flood warnings go till 5 in the morning, and even more than that, we've got some new reports coming in of a tree on a house on Highway 135. That's Lanier County, and he's also typing something else new in Lanier County as well. But you have some new information.
As far as power outages continue to go, Berrien County is almost at, past 3,000, surpassing that right now. And Irwin, again, nearing that 1,000 mark. So a lot of our neighboring counties have continued to lose power. Jeff Davis, over 2,600 people without power. It continues to raise over and over. And we were talking about Baconton earlier, over 2,500 people without power. So it's becoming an ongoing theme now as far as this storm goes. And where is the storm as of right now, Matthew?
Well, once again, that eye is now moving past Valdosta, but we are getting now reports from Lanier County, reports of 3 houses that have been hit by trees, and a building has been collapsed.
Really?
A building has been collapsed, and that's what I was talking about, where some localized catastrophic damage might occur. That's what that is right there. Okay, now we're getting a wind of 96 miles per hour at the Lowndes County Utility Grassy Pond weather stem.
Really?
96 miles per hour. So go ahead and write that one down. That's one of the highest gusts so far that we've had is 96. It could go over 100. As we were anticipating. So please, 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 please seek shelter and remain in place as this continues to blow on through South Georgia.
And as
right
Dougherty
now.
County continues to go as far as weather-related incidents, a couple of flooded streets. We have 3700 Blanc Radial Avenue that's completely flooded, according to Dougherty County, the government. And we have power outages at Oak Ridge Drive, Westover Boulevard, the 200 block of Glade Lane, the 600 block of Aztec Lane, the 300 block of Carriage Lane, Gillian Road, Lockett Station Road. And again, those services may not be there until the next day. And as far as emergencies, you really shouldn't be dialing 911 unless it's a dire emergency. And we mean life or death when we say dire tonight.
So we can go to the maps now. What they're saying with those damages that you're looking at, I'm going to get rid of that track. And you notice down there at Lakeland, Cameron, that's Lanier County down there. And that is where they are saying that there is reports of trees on homes and a building has collapsed in this area right in here. So areas around Ray City down towards Lakeland, I mentioned Highway 129, also Highway 221. This is the area where there is still some very strong winds. And I imagine that there could be some very intense winds. Again, it's not to the level of that extreme, but it's very dangerous, very damaging. And if you do have your bedroom very close to some, trees outside, it's time to be in that middle portion of your home.
And a couple Lakeland residents saying their lights are out and the wind is shaking the house. So those are the conditions they're currently going through as of right now.
Oh, yeah, that is what a Category 2 will do. Imagine what the 3 and the 4 will do and how real severe it's going to be down south and west, even worse than what we're facing, and we're really under the gamut, too, of everything. But you can see there's that where the worst of it is, that red that you see right near Lakeland. Very concerned about the city of Lakeland, up toward Allenville, eastern portions of Berrien County. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in on that, and there is
and it feels like
a look at it.
Excuse me, Matthew.
Yeah.
It seems like the rain is barreling down in Cordele as well.
That's right. We can go ahead and move up that way and see what's going on there after we show you some of these strong winds. But again, flash flood warnings in effect. But you think it's a little bit rough in Tifton? Well, this part is going to rotate north and west into Nashville, up toward Willacoochee and Alapaha, and then it might go more toward Enigma, the worst of this. Where we're talking about people saying that their house is actually shaking right now with all that. And then as we make our way up to Cordele, I've got a solid band coming in to those areas, and you could just pick out your hometown. I've got some of the smaller communities on there. Chula, it's coming into your area now.
They just reported high winds in Chula as a person commented down that that's what they're experiencing right now.
So there you go. That's one of those feeder bands right there. And there is our main feeder band here in Cordele.
What's a feeder band?
So the feeder band is basically what it is. It's a band that is embedded into that center of the storm. And as we talked about, it has a well-developed inner core as it comes in, but also once it hits land, it starts to become, that center portion starts to fill in, called a dirty eye, and then we will see, more. It continue to worsen the conditions, and the feeder bands will actually get more progressive, because they will continue to be pushing north, especially as this accelerates and begins to move more. So like, for instance, right now, Ashburn is in lighter rainfall, but it's coming. A heavier band is coming up from Tifton, coming up to the north and west towards Chula, Waterloo, as well as Enigma, Pinetta, Irwinville, and then over towards Scooterville. These areas right here, again, you're not under any kind of extreme wind warnings, but it is damaging and it is significant coming through Tift County right now, and Irwin County, Turner County, Ben Hill County, up here into portions of Crisp County. So there you go. You want to know about Crisp County and Dooley County, pick out your hometown. There it is. You can see that feeder band coming up in north and west right now as this comes on through.
Right, and some people in Cook County have said their garages have started to buckle in and things of that nature. How, it's an impulse to try to go fix those things. Why is it so important to not do those things?
Well, number one, you're risking your life if you try to go outside and assess any kind of damages. It's going to take some time. It's going to take most likely a couple of days to do that. And then there could be some cases where, it could be weeks, but maybe not. I'm erring on the possibility that it may be just a couple of days. But what I am concerned about is I know that South Georgia power crews have up to the task of everything, but I know a lot of resources has been sent elsewhere down to the south of us, and obviously so because that's where the worst of the hurricane was. But we're still going to see some people. Power companies having to work a lot of hours, and we want to pray for our linemen and have a little patience as we are going to be dealing with, again, widespread power outages, and you need to continue to shelter in place until they are repaired. And remember, post-storm, do not cross a water-covered road, do not cross a power line, down power line. You don't know if the line is still live, and that could cause a fire or a loss of life there with that situation. But we're just going to go around the area, and you can pick out your hometown where the darkest of the colors are. That's where the heaviest rain is. Again, we just got a pretty good band to come through Cordell. I imagine the gust was near tropical force, if not more. And then we go on down here to Ocilla. It's starting to really pick up there in Ocilla, Ben Hill County, over toward Pinetta, Mystic, Irwinville, Waterloo, Inahaw, Sunsweet, and Shula, Brighton, and Harding. And then on down to the line here, Ty, Excelsior, Pebblebrook, and Scooterville, all of those areas. It's really intense right now in Tift County. So my thoughts are with you folks, or my friends down in Tift County. I'm losing a little bit of my connection here, so I don't know what's taking place.
I can. Going through some of the same things over here, too,
okay,
as far as updates go.
All right. So I think I got my radar back. So we're back now. So we're going to possibly lose power. So what's going to happen is I'm going to go ahead and zoom out a little bit with it. The worst of that, look at Albany. I have not talked about Albany. There is where a really strong feeder band is coming through Albany right now. Leesburg, it's on top of you. Cordell, down towards Baconton. And look how far west that is going. It's going west of Highway 19 now, that feeder band. And so that's where some very impressive weather is happening right now. And there's likely that's gonna increase the power outage number in Daugherty County.
And there was someone who commented on the Cook County's safety, and they said, "I can't get out with my kids. We are blocked in. A tree fell on us." I called 911.
Yeah, you can call 911 if you want to, but do realize that emergency officials are not going out in these winds. They started doing that when the winds got to tropical force or just below that, and they're not going out until the winds subside, and that's not going to happen until sometime late today. Even if then, it may not be until your Saturday that happens, and you just need to do that. And again, unless it has caused you a life or death situation with a tree that has fell through your house, you don't need to call 911 because that kind of clogs up communications, and you just don't need to do that. It's unfortunate, but they will be able to assess the damage after the fact of the hurricane, not in the middle of it.
And now we're up to over 3,000 people in Tift County without power.
That's right. I think it's because of that feeder band right there coming through Ty now, coming toward the Scooterville area, Poland, Sumner. It's coming towards you. And then this is the other feeder band coming around Albany, but you can see the movement Cameron. We talked about how the eye is down this way, coming up north, and that is where the worst of it is. Thankfully, we've got Tallahassee's radar to do all this. Look at the calm. There's your eye. You see it. And look at Valdosta. Earlier, the eye was over Valdosta. Well, guess what? Now the backside of the eye has come in, and your winds have reversed directions. And so there you go. There is where the strongest of the winds are in Lowndes County, and reports are that the strongest wind gust we've received now is 96 miles per hour. So that's very close to 100 miles per hour. And that is still possible over here in Clinch County, stretching up into eastern portions of Lanier County, over towards Willacoochee, over towards Atchison County. This is really going to affect you. And so you definitely need to be sheltering in place. Nashville, the eye is about to go over you, but that does not mean a time for you to venture outside. It's just too dangerous for you to be outside. You need to shelter in place right now into the hall closet, the bathroom without windows. It's probably howling outside. The sheets of rain probably coming down. You are probably hearing some not very pleasant, or hearing some unpleasant sounds outside right now.
And one thing we want to reiterate, because a lot of people's power is being lost at this point, is keep these tips in mind. Unmute your phone. You never know when you're going to get a notification, whether it's from a loved one or a weather service. NOAA will definitely have some of those for you. As far as Lowndes County, make sure you know you've signed up for those code red systems as well. And don't keep your phone on Do Not Disturb. Cut that setting off. And I know a lot of people have lost power, but if you still currently have power, make sure you are charging your devices. That is extremely crucial to you, because you never know how this storm is going to turn. This rain and this wind has been very destructive tonight, and I think the prediction is that it'll continue to be that way.
That's right. Even though it's gone down a category that really doesn't matter, you can see the current eye wall right now coming up through Clinch County, coming up into Atchison County. Next up will be Coffee County. We showed on our estimations of some wind gusts through this period about 90 miles per hour. Well, that's coming to fruition right now. And it is verifying in this area. So I imagine there's going to be extensive damage up through the Coffee County areas, also through Atchison County, as this eye starts to move into the north. And then off to the north and west into portions of eastern Berrien County, especially the city of Nashville. It's on you, Nashville. And then to the south near Ray City, it may have gone calm for a little while. Also Lakeland. But remember, please do not venture outside. In the event that this eye goes right over you, it may go calm, and because the winds are really going to pick up on the backside of it. And looking to the south and west, even though you don't see much rain, there will be a lot of wind that will pick up on the backside of this eye as well. And some really impressive banding features going on through Colquitt County, through northern Cook County, heading up through El Dorado, Omega, Crossland, Scooterville, Excelsior, Tai, Chula, over here toward Anderson City, Sylvester, those areas. Bridgeboro will be next up, and again along the Highway 33 corridor, Highway 319. That is really bad down there at this present time, and you may or may not even have cell communications right now. I did get a report from someone that lives in southern Tift County. Right now, it's hard gusts and rain and wind. That was earlier, but I imagine it has really increased now. So it's time for you to be not in your bed. It's time for you to be in your closet or bathroom without windows, and get away from the windows. Whatever you do, maybe your bathroom is the center portion of your home. That's where you need to be. Especially if your bedroom has a lot of trees surrounding your home. And we know we've gotten numerous reports of trees down, trees through homes, buildings collapsed. Not good at all, but it's what was forecast, and that's exactly what is happening at this time. Very concerned about this band right here, Cameron, for our northwestern communities, areas around Albany, south and west, and it's really coming down. Looking at a little bit of a lighter rain for eastern Dougherty County, but it's very bad coming up through Lee County right now over toward Chokey, to the east of Smithville, west of Warwick, and then there's that feeder band that came through Cordele, coming up toward Vienna right now.
And has it passed Cordele, or is it still here?
Well, I don't know about this feeder band. It seems to be that I'm not hearing as much wind at this moment, and it may actually go calm for us a little bit. The studios in Cordele is down this way. That's where it may go calm. But the next up's going to be Americus. Americus, in fact, has been really spared as far as the rain and the strongest of winds.
Right.
But it's really about to go downhill in Sumter County and Dooley County also. So Unadilla, all of those areas, it's still about to go downhill for you. Going to go back down. Again, I'm just running this radar here with some smaller communities to hopefully you see your community and you can tell what's going on in your area. Let's see, just still a flash flood warning until 5:30 a.m. Still no need to be out on the roads currently. And Ashburn, some very strong winds coming up. And then there is a look at the other side of it, coming into Colquitt and Tift counties, Irwin County, Worth County. But very concerned about Willacoochee over here into Atchison County. And also Coffee County. Very, very concerned because you see this red that's occurring right here. That's going to be lifting off towards Pearson of Highway 441. We talked about Highway 441, and that's what's happening right now. And then over towards Broxton. So it's about to go downhill. I know you had tornado warnings earlier today, but here comes another. We almost can call this like a tornado because you need to treat it as such.
Right.
Over a more widespread area with trees down, power outages, and all those types of things. I don't know if you've got access to City of Douglas or Coffee County to see if there's anything coming down from them. And I'm still looking on National Weather Service chat for any new damage reports that have been relayed to them.
Currently nothing from Coffee as of right now that they've posted.
All right. But it's going to go rapidly downhill for that area. Again, 96 mile per hour wind gust is the highest that we have received at the Grassy Pond WeatherStem site, Lowndes County Utilities. So that's the highest wind gust we've received there.
And you know this is a scary time for a lot of you guys as of right now. And it's normal to have bad feelings, stress, or anxiety during a time like this. And there are people you can call if you still have service as of right now. You can call 1-800-985-5990 just to have someone that's in the disaster relief, someone that you can talk to, someone that you can kind of lean on in this time. Because, I mean, all you can do is really hear me and Matthew's voices right now, and you can be in your safe space. And you just want to continue to be safe tonight because it's not over just yet, right, Matthew?
No, by no stretch of the imagination, and we're really going to have to focus on aftermath. People have a tendency to want to go outside after the hurricane, but you just don't need to do that with this type of hurricane. You know, in the past, we've gotten, not as much of a direct hit like this one. And, of course, like Michael, we did get direct hit. And with Adelia, too, we thought we were going to get something similar to this with Debbie. But Debbie managed to go to her south and east. But this one here really is very serious. And I imagine it is going to go down as it did come into South Georgia as a major hurricane, and now it's a Cat 2, but still, in those squalls, those rain bands, as that eye continues to fill in, and we start to see the wind field instead of expand, start to kind of, at least the inner core start to shrink in size, we will see an improvement in conditions to some degree.
And we still see the wind trying to come through into our studio too out here in Cordele. What time do you think the storm will hit some of these counties here as far as Cordele, Turner County? It's hit a little bit of Tifton already. When do you think what time that'll happen?
So again, that's the worst of it. The most severe of what's occurring right now, and that's around the Homerville area up towards Pearson, heading straight for Douglas. So Douglas, if you have not moved into your interior room right now, it's time that you do that right now. And the camera's getting sleepy on me. But it's all right. This weather makes you that. But the important thing is, if you start to hear that howling outside, it's not time to sleep through this. It's time to get in that center portion of your home. And then you see another outer feeder band coming through Fitzgerald. So you mentioned, when will we start to see another round? Well, we'll probably get that feeder band right there within the next 30 to 45 minutes, if that. It may be sooner than that, coming up into Cordele. Cordele just got a pretty impressive feeder band, and that other feeder band is heading towards Americus, north of Vienna, over towards Unadilla, and then down towards Leesburg as well. And you can see that on the radar. Next up is going to be towards Broadwood, Oliver's Mill, Dawson, Sasser, Parrott, Plains, all those areas. And then down to the south, we've got Lee County, Leesburg, getting that feeder band there, Gillionville, Pretoria, and again, very impressive rainfall in this band right here occurring. Flash flooding is likely, and that's what we're going to continue. Look at Camilla. We have not talked about Camilla, but look at this feeder band, how it's just sitting over the same area, paralleling or along Highway 19. That's dumping, I don't know how much rainfall. The rainfall rates are about 4 to 6 inches per hour, probably, and that is very serious kind of condition at this present time.
And the Lowndes County EMA are urging its citizens, if you see power lines outside of your house, call 911 immediately as far as that can go, because you don't want to have a fire or something like that
Right.
as well, too.
If you feel that might cause a fire, go ahead and give them a call. But otherwise, if it's a dead wire, there's nothing really they're going to be able to do until the storm has passed. Let me check my emails. I think I'm getting some things. Nothing.
Yeah, no dire updates as of yet from Turner, Lowndes, or anything like that.
I'm sure our emails will be flooded by tonight with everything.
Sure, yeah. Just as far as recovery efforts go.
That's right. We've had shelters open, but again, it's time to just shelter in place right now. And we had that federal declaration by President Biden, and we also had that state emergency declaration before landfall by Governor Brian Kemp. And what that does is it just doesn't portray to the severity of a storm. It just means that it provides direct federal assistance to supplement response efforts of emergency conditions resulting from the hurricane. And that's what occurs when we get these types of storms that can encounter the entire viewing area. We haven't checked our power outage map, and I want to emphasize to everyone that we have a contingency plan at CBS 44. I'm going to try to execute it tonight. Maybe we won't have to use it, but if we do lose power, we may be off for a little while, but we will try to get back over the air as soon as possible. Just please bear with us as well. Got any friends or family over in Waycross? Really impressive bands coming up toward them right now. You can see Pearson, Willacoochee, Bannockburn, those areas, Weber, getting some impressive winds, and it's still raining heavy in Tift County, Worth County, and the winds are really going to be howling in Omega as this rain band wraps around the remnant eye wall, and the eye is coming through Adel2. And so, yeah, there's no more rain possibly in Valdosta. It's very calm. It's very tempting to go outside and see what's happened, but you don't want to do that. You are risking your life if you do that, and a lot of times most of the deaths may actually occur after the fact.
Right.
And you just don't want to risk your life in doing so. Let's see if I can pull up the power outage map, our latest wind gust maps and stuff like that.
As far as outages go, Matthews, reported 920 are without power in Worth County, over 200 in Turner County, our neighboring county. It's getting close to 4,000 in Tift County, and Irwin is rising to 2,300 as of right now. Ben Hill has 647 out as of right now. So, like I said, it's a trend that continues to happen as of right now. Terrell not doing as bad, 89 without power. Baconton over almost reaching 4,000, almost there without power as well there. Jeff Davis, 2,898 people without power. But nothing so far in Chris County yet. As I say that, our lights flicker, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, Coffee County is now yellow. A lot of power outages in Coffee County. You can see that on the county power
12,000
outages
in
map.
Coffee County.
12,000. That's a lot. So let's see what else I can find real quick before we possibly lose our own power. Nothing from the National Weather Service in Tallahassee, but wind observations looks like they have been coming up steadily. And the highest wind gust that I have seen is 96 miles per hour at the Valdosta Utilities location. And then there was a gust, I'm seeing an 80 mile per hour wind gust in Mayport in Jacksonville. So that's
really?
Nearly a hurricane gust that far east. Got a new flash flood warning for Atchison and Clinch counties until 4:30 a.m. Right now, Doppler radar indicates thunderstorms producing heavy rain over the warned area. Flash flooding is ongoing or expected to begin shortly. Flash flooding of small creeks and streams, urban areas, highways, streets, and underpasses, as well as other poor drainage and low-lying areas. And the flooding, it's going to take some time for this water to recede because of the rate of rain that we've gotten and how much rain that we have received as well across the area. Nothing new from the National Weather Service in Tallahassee. In the next 15 minutes, we'll get a position update as well as an intensity update of the hurricane. Let's see. I can pull back up the radar. And there it is. Very calm in Valdosta now. I know it's very tempting to go outside and see what's happened, but it's advised that you don't do that. The only thing that EMA is requesting is that if you have a live sparking power line that has gotten down on your home and were not able to flip your breaker or whatever the case may be there, and you believe that your house may be on fire or have a risk of catching on fire, you can go ahead and give them a call. But other than that, unless it is a life and death emergency, they're not going to respond. Don't respond. They're not going to respond to just a downed tree. They're not going to respond to a power line that is just crossing the road. They're just trying to protect life and property, life at this time. Life mainly, not property, because it's too late now.
And a quick update from the Worth County Sheriff's Office. They said as of 1 a.m., the hurricane remains extremely dangerous and is currently moving into southern Georgia. The storm is accelerating north and northeast along the I-75 corridor, kind of like as Matthew was saying. And like I said, they continue to say it's a threatening situation and everyone should stay in their shelter. And they've reported gusts of 88 miles per hour there as well.
Oh, 88 in Worth County?
Yes.
Wow. We're not expecting those types of winds in Worth County because thought the eye would, of course, be east.
Oh, excuse me. It's in. They said 88 in Lowndes County. So they were just saying in general.
All right. But it's possible because now I'm starting to see a concerning trend. You know, we had this band come through with some tropical force winds, but it's possible this thing's going to ring and wrap back around to the south and west, back northeast. And if it does that, Cameron, these areas that were hit hard with the direct eye will get this back edge, and that's the back edge right there.
Right.
So I'm going to zoom out just a little bit, and then we'll get back in a little closer. But you can see the ring of it, and as the eye continues to pull off to the north, all of this has got to come back around.
Right.
And just that's the like Valdosta down there is right now calm, and you're thinking to yourself, it's over for us. Maybe the worst is, but you've got this back edge right here that's coming around, looping around the backside of the eye wall. And that's something that our models did indicate that the winds would still be severe in this area between Camilla, Pelham, Thomasville, Coolidge, Moultrie, over towards Quitman and Pavo and Barney, Berlin, over towards Ellington, Reed Bingham State Park, Little River right there, Adel, Cecil, also Lenox. Again, you think to yourself, the weather's starting to improve where I am, but it may not be as this other band comes back around. And what's concerning is that this band right here is shaping up to not move much, and with the torrential rain rates that we are seeing of 4 to 6, possibly more inches, there's going to be possibly very dangerous flash flooding. That's why we had a high risk of flash flooding. That's very rare. Just like the high risk for severe weather, the high risk for flash flooding is very rare and counts for the most flood deaths, even with or without a hurricane.
And what stage would you say Valdosta is in as far as this hurricane goes?
Still in the thick of things. You will be getting the backside, like I was mentioning, coming around Albany, coming around Lee County, coming around Mitchell County, through Thomas County, and that's going to loop back around and head into Valdosta. So you think to yourself, it's done for me, but it's not. So you definitely need to seek shelter. And there's that Moody Air Force Base. They had a wind gust also pretty high. And I know that we had the highest was around 88 miles per hour too. I'm going to go ahead and loop it. And you can see that eye's starting to fill in. It's also, the worst of the winds have shrinked in size, but the eye remains pretty large in size.
So what does it mean that
as
the winds
it comes
have shrunk?
through? Well, the intensities have come down, and that wind field has shrunk, but still anticipating that the center of the storm, all this weather still got to rotate around like the figure skater pulling his or her hands inward. It's still got to come back around, and that's going to be for Adel, Nashville, Tifton. It's possible that feeder band over there near Thomasville may not make it back down to Valdosta, but I know that Adel, Moultrie, and Tifton, it's not done for you by no stretch of the imagination.
And Lowndes EMA just gave us another report. Hurricane Helene is still in our area. We're still seeing wind gusts of up to 72 miles per hour, and you're saying that's still going to come around as the bag comes around right there.
And so they have had gusts now, if you think about it, over the past couple hours, maybe 2 hours, hour to 2 hours of hurricane force. So that's how long they've had the wind gust, just constant, nonstop, the hurricane force. The the highest gust we've seen is 96 miles per hour. We just got report there of 76 still going on. We got reports of houses shaking in Lanier County, trees through homes, also garages collapsed.
Yeah, getting pushed in by that wind.
Right.
And also in Cook County, they're kind of saying the same verbiage that you are, because they believe that they're in the eye of the storm as of right now. So they're saying to stay indoors, and it's not a good time to go look and see, because you still have that back end of that hurricane coming for them as of right now.
That's right. You can see the rotation on the velocity, and the only radar we've got, two radars we've got right now are Tallahassee and Warner Robins for the best views. Let's try the Warner Robins and Robins Air Force Base. A little bit better view there. So going to go back in head and zoom in on it. Douglas, I plead with you, get into your center portion of your home right now, because the remnants of the worst of it is starting to come into your area, especially Coffee County. Right now.
What's the storm category as of right now?
I think we're going to get that information momentarily.
Tift County has just reported that it's been downgraded to a Category 2. We can check that, though, as well.
All right. So there's Coffee County. Coffee County, it's time now to be in your safe place. Center portion of your home, away from windows. I keep telling you that. Need to be there as well. Let's see what category. Not seeing anything new there. The gusts that I am seeing over at St. Simon's Island, 61. Jacksonville had a gust of 67. Alma, Georgia, 69. And it's probably going up now in Douglas. The wind gusts pretty severe, probably in the Douglas area, at least 60, in my opinion, going on. So you need to shelter in place in the Coffee County area. I know Broxton area had a tornado reported. That's what you see, that funnel, little cloud showing up there.
And it's still reported over 13,000 people are without power in Coffee County as well.
All right. And 2 miles northeast of Broxton, we've got confirmed damage of a tornado there earlier this afternoon, about 2:30. One touchdown up there. And then we're going to click on this Wheeler County one. And it's suspect that the 2 deaths that were known of, I think that's at least 2 deaths we know of in Georgia so far. That is a result of a possible suspected tornado.
And they said the mobile home had flipped.
That's right.
Right there.
So there's Coffee County. It's the worst of it's coming right through Douglas.
And one thing we want to emphasize, depending on your home type, the worst possible option is to have a mobile home or is to be in a vehicle right now. Those are 2 things that you seriously don't want to do just because of the force of these winds, as Matthew was saying. And a large gymnasium room isn't necessarily the best option either. A good option is an interior room with a well-constructed, that's in a well-constructed home or building. Again, we emphasize those 4 walls that you need, whether that's in a bathroom or lower in a basement if you have one. That's really where you want to be when this storm hits, and not necessarily how you want to be at the lowest part of your house for this.
That's right. And we continue to talk about using blankets and pillows to cover your head. Get away from the windows. That's the main thing that we want to emphasize to everyone. Also, again, my hearts go out to all the producers out there, the farmers, and it's not going to be a good situation. We know that. And
almost 4,000 without power in Irwin County now.
All right, so the worst of it's now coming into Osceola. I think I heard thunder here at our station, but I don't see any lightning showing up. But it may be the wind. Omega is starting to improve for you, but looks like the worst of it is now in Tifton, still going on hard in Harding. Also Chula up to Inahaw and Sycamore and Ashburn. and then Rebecca, Dakota, Amboy, Pitts, and Rochelle. So here comes another feeder band coming across Abbeville, Wilcox County, Rochelle. It's about to get loud there. And hopefully, knock on wood, this is not the band that's going to take us out. But
Right.
it's coming across Double Run, Hatley, over towards East Crisp, Winona, coming up toward Cordele. And so hurricane warning remains in effect right now. Perry, Georgia, the home of the Georgia National Fair. They will be hopefully having the fair. Houston County right there. And you can see the storm, the rain bands coming through Perry. Buckets of rain falling right now, all the way stretching up to Warner Robins. So there you go, a close-up view of our friends that may pick us up on WSST up this way. The Robins Air Force Base, I'm sure they have taken protective measures. Dooling, Byronville, down the way. Failed to mention, again, we're going to get a lot of rain and localized, a lot of swath of heavy rains. Let's go ahead and take some video of outside our door here at South Georgia Television.
And so, Matthew, you can see that we have rain flying in different directions, trees flying right there, and you can just see that wind gust just pushing. It looks like eastward right there from our view right here, and it's pushing pretty hard.
Based on what I'm seeing there, a tree's not blowing over, so
Right.
that's right there, probably around tropical storm force. And you know, we were on the borderline for Cordele as far as getting hurricane versus strong tropical conditions.
Right.
But with the thing coming in as a 4 and all that, it really ratcheted up the potential that it could be worse, and it still might be for Cordele.
Because you still see, even in this video, how that rain is coming up, and you can see it's like almost waves of
Right.
water hitting you.
So it's normally vertical from the sky to the ground,
Right.
cloud to the ground, but it's horizontal sheets of rain, blinding rain. You can't see it. Visibility drops, and that's why another reason. Not just with the wind and the damage and stuff, but
And you see a couple of cars still on that highway right there.
That's
a little
right.
bit driving by.
That's the interstate, and nothing going on. I hope it's just emergency, folks. It's major tractor trailers, and I have not heard of any reports of a semi blowing over. But it's possible that's also possible, especially down the way toward Valdosta. But here comes that other band. If we go back to our radar,